Watch us live stream at twitch.tv/Inez27. Live stream times are Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7 p.m. Central Time. Follow us on Twitter at SeemsGoodMagic. And please support my eBay store by going to SeemsGoodMagic.com, clicking on the icon, and purchasing some playsets and singles. Thanks, and enjoy the video. Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here for another 8-4 Return to Ravnica block draft. I'll bring up the card. And look at the pack. Alright, rare is Zerta Ancient. Cool, efficient card, but not first pick. We've also got Punish the Enemy, Tithe Drinker, Wind Drake, Rakdos Drake. I think the choices are Tithe Drinker or Punish the Enemy. Punish will devote us to less colors, which I kind of like. And we're not passing too much red otherwise. Just the Ancient and the Commando and the Animist, but they aren't super high priority picks. Other than that, I don't know. I think the Punish is definitely a good card. It's going. I think the Punish is just the pick because it devotes us to the fewest colors, and it's a removal spell, a good one at that. Doubles as a finisher. So I think we're going to pick it over the Tithe Drinker here. Wow, second pick. Awesome pick choices here. We can go second Punish, but there's also War Leader's Helix, which I think is probably just worth the pick. Worth the voting to Boros at this point. War Leader's Helix is a phenomenally powerful spell. Looks like they just took the rare out of this pack. Another Punish in here, but that's okay. Also Spike Jester, which is good. I'd rather have the Helix, since Helix is pretty insane. Next pick. Wow. Armed and Dangerous, you say, huh? Anything else that's worthwhile in here besides the Armed and Dangerous? Karazda Gorgon, Zerta Druid, Warped Physique. All those picks are good. Let's just take the Armed and Dangerous pretty happily. Possibly going Naya. Not sure yet. Hazda Snare Squad. Blast of Genius is indeed good. That would get us a fourth color alongside red, which is probably okay. Hazda Snare Squad looks like it's pretty good, though. I very much like this card. I do like Blast as well, as you well know. But let's just take the Hazda Snare Squad and be content with it. Okay, next we have Battering Krasis, Maze Rusher. Both are fine. Neither are super exciting. Selesnya Cluestone is okay. Guess I'd rather have the Krasis if we're in fact going Naya. If I thought I could stick to Boros, maybe I just want the Rusher. But Rusher is not a amazing pick. It's fine playable card, but it's probably just as playable as Battering Krasis. So why don't we try and minimize our green for now and try and focus on red and white if we can. If that's possible. Alright, let's take the Steeple Rock here. I think he's fine. He's fine pick. Not amazing, not bad. Here we can take the Give and Take if I thought the green would work, but I think it's more logical to either take one of these two first strikers, but I think we're just going to take the Guild Gate. That'll make it so Armed and Dangerous is much easier to splash. Or at least getting the Dangerous online, I mean. But let's just take the Guild Gate. It's fine. Alright. Riot Piker or Steeple Rock? I guess we take the Riot Piker. Still a chance for playing some aggro Boros here. Depending on what we get, of course. Guess we can take the Cluestone. Not terribly exciting. Alright, let's take a second Cluestone. I guess we'll take the Clear Path. Just continue to cut red and white, and this is sideboardable. Leave of Decree, actually playable if we're to get... That was a late Maze Abomination, by the way. But Leave of Decree, playable if we end up with enough early creatures. So far, a little bit creature light, but that's probably okay. Wear and Tear or Gleam of Battle? I don't know. I guess Gleam of Battle is probably better with Riot Piker. I mean, this is a good sideboard card. I think it's more likely we're going to sideboard into this than main deck the Gleam of Battle. Gleam of Battle is definitely an interesting card. I just am not terribly interested in playing it. Doesn't really matter. And token copy or whatever. Okay. So far, look okay. I mean, we've definitely got some strong spells in here, but ended up a little bit lighter on playables than I would have liked. Here, Guardian is definitely a worthy first pick. Not hoping to wield too much. I guess Basilica Guards, but that's about it. Guardian is definitely a fine pick, though. Very strong card. Okay. Looks like here we're probably just going to take the Holy Mantle. I think that's fine. I usually don't get a chance to play this card either. And Holy Mantle is definitely a very strong one, so happily snatch it up. Next, we have a bunch of green picks now. No red and white. So now my mind is racing. I'm trying to think what I want to do, because it looks like these packs are either extremely red and white light, or I'm getting cut from this side, which is what I was really hoping wasn't going to happen. Let's just take the Ground Assault since it's the most splashable. I could take the Predator, but I'd likely not have to splash for it. So I guess I'd rather splash for the Ground Assault. Hopefully we see at least a few red and white creatures out of this pack. Okay, here I think we're just going to take the Shanktail. It's a pretty good red creature. Act of Treason also is in here, as well as a foil mythic, Borborygmos Enraged, but not going to pick that since we're in dire need of good creatures at the moment. So let's just take the Shanktail. God, we're getting cut hard. We are getting cut super, super hard, I can tell. Alright, take an Act of Treason. I mean, we're way too far along to try and get out of this hole now. There's also Zertos Swine. I mean, if my fixing wasn't so dreadful, I'd really consider it, but... Ugh. God. Let's just take the Act. I have a feeling we have a good chance we'll end up with enough creatures. It's just I'm really disappointed that we're getting cut so hard on Boros from this direction. It's exactly what I needed to not happen in this pack. It's a really emergent... It's quickly becoming an emergency situation here. I guess we're going to have to go deeper green. Really unfortunate. I guess we'll take a massive raid here. We'll take the Thunder Fist. Take the Ruination Worm. Take the Burst of Strength. I mean, we're going to have enough playables. It's just, I was trying to not have to go. I'm absolutely shocked. We saw zero. We literally saw 0 Boros creatures. 0. That is incredible. I don't know if I've ever gone into a draft and seen 0 Boros creatures in Pack 2. Alright, well, I mean, the good news is we have enough removal. So in Pack 3, we're just going to really focus fire on creatures, because we are just tremendously short on creatures. Alright, so hoping to find some good white and red creatures out of this pack, if at all possible. Shred Freak is satisfactory. It's not great, but we can cast it for double red. Pretty damn lackluster first pick, but it is a creature. So it fulfilled that requirement. Cellar, Lobber Crew. We don't have... I think actually the Cellar is going to work better with our double massive raid. So let's do that. Lobber Crew may actually be a better card, but not necessarily in this deck. We actually are very, very light on multicolor, so I think the Cellar actually makes the most sense. Gets us 2 creatures to double the intensity of massive raid. Gets us an evasive creature to attack with. I think it's worth it. Lobber Crew is good, though. Okay. We'll pretty gladly take Eyes in the Skies here. I definitely count it as a creature, and also feeds the massive raid plan. So that's actually quite an excellent pick. I would like the Dynacharge, but considering how much red's been cut, I don't think we're going to have that luxury. But that's okay. Eyes in the Skies is a good pick. I'm happy to pick that up. Okay. Now I can take the Sunspire Griffin, the Judge's Familiar, the Vassal. Well, if I'm going to take the Vassal, so pretty clearly taking the Sunspire Griffin. It's also Judgment, which is fine. Crasher's fine, I guess. Cobblebrut's fine. Pursuit's good. So a lot of good stuff in here for us, but we're just going to snag the Griffin. Good creature. Alright, this is good. We can take another one. There's also Grove, but we're still light on creatures, so I think we're just going to snag another Griffin. Need to get as many creatures as we can. Indrik is probably better on the splash than a Burst of Strength would be. So I guess it does have that going for it, but let's just take the Pursuit. I guess that's just technically on color straight up, so it might work a little bit better for us. So if I can get... Currently I have like 14 creatures if you count the Eyes in the Skies and the Beacon. I'd like to be able to cut the Beacon. We'll see if that's realistic. I'd probably like to cut the Ruination Worm, even though it's fine on the splash. It's just not exactly what I wanted this deck to be. Centaur's Herald's awesome. Slitherhead's good. Common Bond is very good. I mean, I could take another Pursuit. I'm not super excited about it, but I'm certainly not excited about Trained Caracal. Considering how little fixing we have, I'd like to minimize my green. I guess we just take a second Pursuit. I mean, we do have a good amount of flyers, and Pursuit on a flyer already is pretty good. It's good on a Riot Piker. It's good on a Shred Freak. So we have good targets for it. Alright, we're just going to take the Racketeer and play it. Still in desperate need of more creatures. Sundering Growth for sideboard is fine. We don't really have a Artifact Enchantment hate yet. So, good news is we have enough creatures. This deck is going to be adequate. The bad news is we were clearly getting cut the entire time. May not even do the Gruul Cluestone. Maybe, though. I guess with a Gruul Cluestone and a Guildgate, I don't even have to put a forest in here, most likely. Or maybe one forest. Dynacharge did wheel. That's awesome. That's really good news, because we actually have a couple multi-token producer cards. So, probably be able to make that work. I have to just really strongly think about exactly what I want to play now. I imagine we're going to be cutting probably a Pursuit, if not both. Possibly the Lee of Decree, but I guess I have to take a better look at how aggressive we're going to be. It's actually kind of good. We're going to take the Vassal Soul. Having a lot of double white, double red would suck, but since we have such a small amount of green in the deck, it's really going to minimize the impact. I think we're taking that out. I'll take a foil rare, whatever. So, we did end up with a deck that's adequate. It's got pretty good. It's got some pretty good spells in it. I think the major shortcoming is the fact that we were getting cut the entire time. But it's a tough format sometimes. Sometimes you just really run into you're competing with somebody for the same exact colors, and it's hard to keep track of it. Oh, I forgot that I took the Wear and Tear over the Gleam of Battle, but I still think I probably wouldn't have played Gleam of Battle in this deck, most likely. not necessary. We might. I don't think we're even doing the beckon. We'll see. It's possible, but if I could get out of it, I will. A lot of 5 drops. Am I missing something? No, I think that's everything. So this is 27. Let's separate out our creature to non-creature spells. Yeah, alright. I can tell you right off the bat we're going to be cutting a pursuit. At least one. Maybe even both. A lot of 3 drops, which is acceptable. No problems there. 2 and 3 drops are not a problem. So we don't look that aggressive anymore. I'm feeling the pursuits just less and less. Still kind of like the ground assault, just because it's such strong removal, but only 14 creatures. Really just only 14 creatures. Let's cut the Leave Decree. I think we're just not aggressive enough to be able to make that work. Massive Raid does look pretty crappy, so maybe I just cut one of those. I mean, Massive Raid is definitely like you get rewarded when you have a lot of creatures, and we just don't. So let's take out a Massive Raid. I think we're probably going to end up playing it like this, which is acceptable. So between the Guildgate and the Cluestone, we already have 2 green sources. I'll probably run one more. And really, what's the green splash for? I guess it's just Ground Assault and Armed and Dangerous? Then maybe I don't. 2 sources will be fine for 2 spells, right? I think that's acceptable. You're going to have a harder time detonating the Cluestone to draw a card, cycling the Cluestone, I mean. But that's okay. I'm not going to worry about it. I don't want to hurt the mana base. We're very color intensive in terms of needing white. So I think the plan is the Guildgate, which is already 1 white source. We're not going to do any green sources. Certainly not doing any blue or black. Alright, so we want to opt towards white. This would be 10-7. I think we probably more logically want to do 9-8. Since we still, I guess, we still need double red for Shred Freak and Massive Raid. It's a little unfortunate, but that's okay. Well, this did not pan out as well as I would have liked. I think this is acceptable. Just hope to see a couple white sources in there. Alright, I'm going to run it like this. I mean, I could probably get away with cutting one more red source, because I really do need that double white. 3 of my turn 3 spells require double white. Alright, let's do it. So we're going to do 10-7, but this also generates red, so it's at least 8 ways to get it. Alright, this deck's pretty weak. Overall, I'd say it's about, let's say, about 5.5 out of 10, I'd say. We started so strong, too, just grabbing really good removal. Almost immediately got cut, maybe about 7 to 10 picks in, I realized I was getting cut. I was hoping to clean up a little bit. Pack 2 just completely got cut there. Then Pack 3, we struggled and came up with a few picks to help us out, but this is a pretty overall rough draft, but we'll see what we can do.